Hello, I'm Chris.
And I'm Tovah, and welcome to Chris and Tovah's Amazing Adventures. Today we are talking all about our expat budget as we prepare to move to San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua.
We're going to go through our expected budget for living down in Nicaragua. We're going to go through our food, our housing, our travel costs, and what we expect our budget to be when we move down to Nicaragua.
Yeah, we've got a pretty good idea of what our budget's going to be already, because if you've been following our other videos, we have already purchased our retirement home in Nicaragua, and we've had it for about 2 years now. So we've already had to pay the electricity, pay our taxes, garbage collection, all that kind of thing. And then between those costs that we already know and the other costs that we've done a lot of research on, we feel that this is going to give you a really good idea of what you might expect to spend in Nicaragua if you're looking at moving there too.
One of the main things that drew us to Nicaragua was low cost of living. We researched several locations down in Central America, and we decided that Nicaragua was
the best value, but also had really great amenities, and we think we're going to be really happy there. So when we move down to Nicaragua, our cost of living is going to decrease. And that's part of the reason that we're choosing to move to Central America, so we can retire early and our money can stretch a little bit farther. But in terms of what our budget is going to look like and what our quality of life is going to look like, it's going to be fairly similar lifestyle as we have in Canada. It's just going to be cheaper. So there's a few things that kind of really stand out that are going to help us save money or just going to be different about when we live there.
we'll be trading in our furnace for air conditioning. Our house in Cold Lake, Alberta, does not have air conditioning, and our house in Nicaragua, in San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua, does not have a furnace.
Yeah, and the house that we live in now doesn't have a pool, but it's a bigger house. So we're going to move into a little bit smaller of a house, but we're going to get a pool. And the actual cost of our house with the pool is about half the cost of the house that we live in now. On top of that, we're also downgrading our vehicles. So right now we have a truck, an SUV, and 2 motorcycles, and we're going to be moving down to 1 SUV, a small dirt bike, and maybe possibly getting a scooter for me.
So here in Cold Lake, we typically eat out once a month, and we'll order in fast food about twice a month. In Nicaragua, we're probably going to go and double that number or triple that. Eat at the local restaurants. They have a lot of seafood restaurants and lobster. Lobster mac and cheese is my favorite. And we're just going to basically support the local economy. And to eat out there is probably less than half the cost of eating here. So our budget's not going to be affected that much when we do eat out more.
So in San Juan del Sur, there's also not really like commercialized fast food. Everything is like a homegrown, home-cooked restaurant. And if you are getting something like takeout, probably the closest thing to fast food would be getting a pizza. So, you know, we're definitely increasing the quality that we would get if we are eating out. And then the rest of the time, we do plan to shop at the local markets, buy local, and I really like to cook. So we'll spend a lot of time eating at our house as well. So one question we always get asked about becoming expats is, how's the healthcare? And the healthcare in Nicaragua is really quite amazing. Compared to what you'd get in Canada or the US. So in terms of service or quality doctor care, if you will, it's on par, pretty much the same. And then in terms of price, it's about the same price to pay out of pocket in Nicaragua as what we would pay the copay fee on top of our insurance. So it's basically a one-for-one trade-off. But the biggest difference is that the healthcare in Nicaragua, there's not the lineups like there are here. So you're not going to wait months or a year to get something like an MRI or to see a specialist. Down there, within about a week, you're going to get to see pretty much any doctor that you need to see. And that, I think, is really amazing because we don't have that here in Canada.
Service down there is typically almost immediate. Like if you need something done, they book you in right away within that week. To highlight the savings that we were going to have while moving down to Nicaragua, our housing is going to be half the cost of what our house here in Canada costs, and food down there is much cheaper and much healthier, locally grown, locally sourced.
Another couple of key savings is cell phone costs. So it's going to cost us about $15 a piece for similar cell phone service that we have here, which is crazy because most people in Canada pay close to $100 per cell phone. Another big cost saving is the property taxes. So our property taxes in Nicaragua are going to be about a third of what they are here in Canada. And then, like we already mentioned, the healthcare costs, not necessarily cheaper, about the same, but one could arguably say better.
And our utility cost is going to be about the same. We're trading our gas bill for a little higher of electric bill because everything runs off electric. Our hot water heater is electric, but we don't have a furnace to run. We do have an air conditioner, and we do have a pool. So we're about to trade off the same for electricity or our total utilities here in Canada to the utilities.
What are you doing?
So before my dog knocked over the camera,
Yeah.
The utility costs are going to be about the same.
Yeah, and one other really big cost savings when people move down to most Central American countries, and Nicaragua is no different, is that the cost for labor is cheaper. So if you need someone to work on your vehicle, that's going to be cheaper.
Oh yeah.
If you're looking at have someone to clean your house or help with the yard work, that's going to be much more affordable than it is here. And those things also help support the local economy. So we do plan to get a little bit more help around the house, if you will, compared to doing all of that ourselves like we would do in Canada. Nicaragua has so much to offer: the weather, the sand, the surf. So if the low cost of living doesn't have you sold, the weather and the atmosphere is reason enough to move to San Juan del Sur, Nicaragua.
Thank you very much for joining us today. I hope you liked the video.
Be sure to give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new to our channel, and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you.